This question has been popping up a lot lately, is what is a good HRV? When a lot of clients are asking, what's a good HRV? My HRV score is not as high as somebody else's, or why is theirs bigger? It's not because you are good or bad. There's no good or bad HRV score. That's a big thing we have to understand, is it's such an individual metric. It is simply based off of you and what you need and what your body requires. Thus, that's why we can't just look at one pinpointed HRV score without looking at the trend. That would be very irresponsible. However, in general, a higher HRV score is going to be greater. Now, does that mean that higher for me, being 108, is higher for Elise? Absolutely not. Elise's higher is somewhere in that 50 to 60 range, whereas mine is around, like I said, that 108 number. They're both equivalent to the highs for us as individuals, and they mean similar things, but they're different numbers. And so that's why it's very important to see the difference. I'm a male, she's a female. I'm a bigger person, she's a smaller, petite person. And so those will all have effects on it, because remember, if we go back to this video right here, this little video clip, what is HRV? And if you click on the other link for Mastering Your Wearables in 4 minutes, we walk you through what HRV truly is and how we understand it to a greater level. So in general, a higher HRV score is, again, always going to be better. But what is better depends on you and the individual. HRV is dependent on 7 factors. We remember those: nutrition, exercise, hydration, sleep, stress management, immune function, and environment or ecosystem. So anytime that we see that our HRV score is dipping below the trend, that's going to be a sign to us that, hey, which one of those 7 factors is not in line, or what can we try to improve upon to get a higher HRV score? Because again, there is no good HRV score. There's not a better HRV score. It's simply based on your trend, your individual numbers, and your baseline. So as we track HRV, make sure before we start drawing conclusions, before we determine great numbers for us, we get about 2 weeks to 3 weeks worth of data. It's super important, because again, we can't draw accurate conclusions of what a positive trend line is until we have a certain number of information, because there is so many variables and so much that goes into a good HRV score, or determining what an HRV score is, that we need to get enough data to make sure, again, that we have accurate depiction of what's actually going on within our body and what is advantageous to us based off that data. So again, there is no number that I can say is a great HRV score. We just want to see that number higher. And the way we do that, healthy habits through those 7 different parameters. And the best way we can determine what healthy is for us, what works for us, is looking at our data, looking at our information, getting DNA epigenetic testing, learning you. The more data we have, the more information we have, knowledge is power. Go on it.